Hello everyone and welcome to another Daily Dose of Drupal. Today we are on episode number 213 and we're going to be going over the contact storage module. As always, I am Shane Thomas. You can follow me on Twitter at smthomas3. You can also check out the Code Karate Patreon page at patreon.com/codekarate. So what is the contact storage module and why is it needed? Well, in Drupal 7, I've actually had heated discussions with developers about using the Webform module just for a simple contact form. A lot of developers thought it was a little bit of a heavy-handed solution, and it really was. You didn't really need all the features of Webform just for your contact forms on your Drupal website. So Drupal comes with a core contact module, which simply allows you to have contact forms, and you can customize them. But one of the missing features is it doesn't save that information to your database. It just simply sends off the email. So if that email gets deleted or lost for whatever reason, you're kind of out of luck. You don't have a copy of that contact form submission. So the option in Drupal 7 was, of course, to use the Webform module if you needed that functionality. However, in Drupal 8, there's a handy module called the contact storage module. It's very simple, but it allows you to save those contact form submissions, and it saves them as entities, which means you can use views, you can edit, delete them, you can do all kinds of things you normally would be able to do with entities. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the contact module, and then we're also going to look at the contact storage module and just see how it works. This will be really quick, really simple, but let's go ahead and get started. So on our Drupal 8 site, if I go to our modules page, you can see I have the contact module installed. I also have contact storage downloaded, but I haven't installed it yet. So if we look at the contact form or the contact module, you'll see a list of different contact forms. I created this one called Contact Us. It's very easy to add a contact form. You may want different contact forms for different types of ways people can reach you on your site. Maybe you have a project request form, maybe you have a contact us form, or a support request form. There's different types of forms you may have depending on the needs of your website. You simply give it a label, who you want it to get emailed to, the message, if you want it to redirect, if you want an auto reply to get sent to the user, and then if you want to make this the default form. And I'll show you what that does in a little bit. But it's really basic on what it allows you to do. In this example, I actually added an additional field. So for website feedback, I just added a field called Your Hobby. You just simply add a field using the Field API. If you're not familiar with the Field API, it's essentially a way to add additional information that you want to collect in your contact form. Or if you're building out different types of content on your site, you can add additional fields. These could be fields such as a number, a drop-down list, an open text area that you can type in information. There's really a wide variety of different fields you can use. This isn't going to be an entire episode on the field mod or the Field API, but you can see there's a number of different ones. There's also modules that extend this. So again, a contact form is pretty simple. I can go ahead and grab just this contact link here. I'll just open it up in a new window here. You can see if I'm not logged in, I would get this website feedback form if I went to this URL here, /contact/feedback, asks me my name, email address, I can put a subject, a message, and my hobby. So it's really pretty basic. If I do just /contact, it's going to bring me to whichever one is the default form, which in my case, I listed the Contact Us form as the default form. So I can go to the /contact/contact us URL, or I can just go to /contact since it's the default form. So I can go here, or this will be the same form if you look right up here as /contact/contact_us. It's going to be identical. Now if I were to fill out this form and hit send, it would send out an email, assuming your environment is configured to send emails, but that's it. After the email goes out, it's done. There's nothing else. Which you can tell in some cases isn't what you want, because you may want to be able to track how many leads did I get in for my website and how many of those did I convert to sales? Or how often is my contact form getting used? And it's nice to be able to have that in interface that you can actually look at. You can see what has been submitted in the past. You could maybe even edit it to add additional notes for future. There's a lot of things you can do with it if you keep it within Drupal so you can see those past results. And this is where the contact storage module comes in. So I'm simply going to go to extend, and I will search for contact, and I will go ahead and enable the contact storage module. And all this is going to do is just make a few simple changes. If I go back to my contact forms, you'll see now that the main tab here is view messages. So if I go to contact us, you can see there is no contact message yet. If I go back to the actual page, I'm going to go ahead and fill this form out. So I'm going to send this, and again, this is still going to have the same behavior of sending out the email, but what you're going to notice is if I go back over here and refresh this page, you're going to see that this message came through. I can then click on the link to view it, which is great. Or if I go back, I can click on a link to edit it or delete it. I can also bulk edit or delete. So one other additional feature that's nice about the contact storage module is if you actually go back to your contact form, you'll notice there's actually a few additional options here. One of those options, if you edit it, you'll see that there's some additional fields here for you to fill out. So you can actually change the submit button text, which is handy if you don't want it to just say send message. You can add a URL alias for the contact form. You can also have a disabled contact form message. You can decide if you want to allow a preview button or not, and you can specify a maximum number of submissions. So you can see there's some additional fields or additional information you can submit when you're editing your contact forms or creating new ones. You can also see there's this disable option here. So if you want to disable a contact form but you want to keep it on your site so you can maybe save the responses, that's a good way to do it. So you can see that it provides some additional functionality when you're adding or editing contact forms. So you can see the contact storage module is actually very simple. It only took a few minutes to go through it, but in this episode you learned a little bit about the contact module that comes with Core. Again, it's just a very simple form. You can add additional fields if you need to collect additional information. If you go to the Manage Field or Manage Form tab, you can change the order of those fields. It's very self-explanatory, especially if you've done anything with fields in the past. If you haven't, kind of follow that example I just did. Add a field, go to the Manage Display, drag it around, test it out. It's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. Now the contact storage module is even simpler. It just gives you that additional option to view additional messages or view all the messages that were sent through that specific contact form. And again, you can have multiple contact forms. You can add menu links to them on your Drupal site. It's a very simple way to collect contacts or messages from your website without having to go and add Webform or a heavier duty entity form type module that has a lot more capabilities. Again, this is a very slim solution, which means it's very easy to implement and it's very good on smaller projects or projects that just need a simple contact form and don't need all the bells and whistles. So that's it for this time on the Daily Dose of Drupal. I hope you learned something. Try out the contact storage module and let me know if you have other modules you would like to see me talk about. That's it for today. We'll see you next time.